not far from camp. They've been calling quite a lot this morning. We thought there may have been a bit of interaction and some fighting. We heard some other lions. We haven't found them just yet, but we got to find this male and female walking along, and they've come and laid down very close to the Vuyatela waterhole. And we are situated in the Greater Kruger National Park up in the northeastern part of South Africa, in an area known as Djuma Game Reserve, which is situated in the Sabi Sands. And everything we are seeing, you are seeing completely live. For those new viewers out there, thank you for joining us. It's great to have you with us. Please don't forget that you are able to send through questions and comments either via Twitter at #SafariLive, or email us questions@WildEarthTV, and we'll gladly answer your questions for you, and we love hearing from all our viewers. It's quite a cool morning this morning. It's very overcast. It's about 20 degrees Celsius and about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So a very nice cool morning. It was wonderful to wake up and hear these lions calling very close to camp. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it did sound like there was a bit of activity, bit of interaction, perhaps between the lionesses and the males, and this male has managed to keep this lioness. It looks like he's possibly trying to mate with her or see if she is an estrus, and that's perhaps why he is following her like this. We're going to sit with them for a while, and while I do that, head over to Taylor so she can say good morning. I almost forgot that Steph was out with us this morning. Yeah, Steph's out on his bushwalk. It's always great to have him back with us. Look how beautiful this male is. It's magnificent. He gave a very, very low call earlier. Maybe we're lucky because there was all that calling and vocalizing this morning. Perhaps he's trying to find out where the other males are, his brothers or the rest of the pride. So maybe we're lucky and we get a call, a roar from these lions. But usually if males are with females and are looking to mate with them, they generally try to keep quiet because they don't want to attract attention of other lions. They don't want other males coming in and potentially spoiling their opportunity to mate with the females. But let's see, you never know. And as I said, there was a lot of calling and vocalizing this morning from these lions. So maybe we're lucky and we still get one or two roars from them. So X-Ranger has just sent through a comment, and X-Ranger says it's now 50 days in a row of us seeing cats on Safari Live, big cats. So X-Ranger, I know, it's incredible. I really can't believe it, and it's I think it's 50 days of lions too. I know leopard have been seen too, but I think it's the lions, or 50 days of lions non-stop. That's incredible. It really is amazing. Male just cleaning himself now. It's very interesting. Their tongues are incredibly rough. They're actually barbed. They're slightly barbed. They've got very sharp hairs on their tongue, which cause it to be very, very rough. And they're able to clean themselves properly. Usually, if lions are at a kill, you'll often see them licking the kill to get some of the skin or hair away. And you can hear that rough tongue rubbing up against the skin of the carcass that they're feeding on. So very, very rough tongue, coarse tongue. So a great tool for grooming and cleaning themselves. So Chris Rogue has asked, do I think that were these lions perhaps fighting for mating rights? Hang on, let's see where this female goes. Maybe we're lucky and they come and drink at the waterhole. We're not far from them. So Chris, I'm not sure. It is a possibility. I just want to see where this lioness goes. Maybe reposition just so we can see them drinking nicely. It does look like they want to. I'm going to reverse quickly. I think she may go and drink just off to our left. We'll get her from the other side. Hang on. Oh. She's not too happy with them. No, she's not interested in drinking. All right. So, Chris, I'm not too sure. Possibly, I think maybe these lionesses or these males try to split one or two of the lionesses away. Maybe the males were getting a bit aggressive with each other because they are trying to mate. It is a possibility. I don't think there were other lions in the area. I think this was just the Nkuhuma pride with these Birmingham males. So it is a possibility that there's perhaps just a bit of interaction between the males, even though they are part of a coalition and they do stick together. There is still a lot of competition between these males for mating rights and for dominance. There is still a hierarchy within a coalition, even if they are brothers. One will be more dominant than the other. So I'm not too sure what happened this morning. Perhaps they heard lions in the distance and they were calling basically to warn other lions that this is their territory and they mustn't come closer. I know we do get the Sticks pride. Have a look at that male quickly. Just interesting behavior. I'll explain that shortly. So as I was saying, we do have the Sticks pride which cross over occasionally. Maybe they heard one another. Don't think they came into contact, but there was definitely a lot of vocalizing this morning. So possibly these males just having a little bit of a standoff, and this one got to follow this female for a while. Getting back to that interaction that the male was doing, let's see if he does it again. It's known as Fleming Grimace, and he was standing where that lioness was, just watching that male. He's very focused. He's definitely picking up the scent on the other lions. So what may also have happened, and again, because we didn't see, I can only assume or guess, and the way he's smelling over there, perhaps the rest of the pride were in this area this morning. They were, oh, there we go, he's doing that Fleming Grimace. You see that? Wonderful. So that is basically what he's doing. He is tasting or picking up the scent of the urine of other lions that were in the area. He's probably licking a spot there where they urinated, and the reason they do that is they have a Jacobson's organ. Have a look, he's doing it again. They've got a Jacobson's organ which is situated at the back of their palate, the roof of the mouth. And what that is it's an additional sense organ. So with these lions tasting the urine, and not just lions do it, other animals do it too, they put the urine or that scent on that organ, on that Jacobson's organ, and it allows them to tell whether or not females are in estrus. It's an easier way for them to recognize perhaps the lions within their pride and the other males around. So it's an incredible sense organ, and that behavior that male was doing now is Fleming. There he's doing it again. See that? He's pushing the scent onto his palate, onto that Jacobson's organ. That is wonderful. It looks like he's smiling or snarling, and that is known as the Fleming Grimace. Very interesting to see. I know a lot of the other viewers did hear the rest of the lions this morning. So there was definitely a pride around here. Perhaps this male and female weren't with the pride when they were calling. Maybe the rest of the pride with one of the other males, they were around here. And that sound attracted these lions into the area. And the rest of the pride have possibly moved off. And I think that's why these lions are now picking up on the scent of these lions, possibly urinating. So the female's also doing it. She also does it. Probably picking up on the scent of the lionesses from her pride, from the Nkuhuma pride. So this is wonderful, a wonderful behavior, and it's great to see lions doing that. We're going to stick with them for a while and see what they get up to. Maybe they meet up with the rest of the pride later. While we do that, now you can go across to Taylor and see what she's up to. Now we're still sitting with these lions. They've moved a little bit away from the waterhole, out into the clearing. What a wonderful, wonderful sighting, and great to spend some time with them. Just want to radio Taylor quickly. I just want to give her an update I heard while she was chatting to you. Let's wait for some of the other guys to stop chatting on the radio. And watch that female just cleaning herself. See, in the mornings there's a lot of this activity, cleaning. They've probably been walking around, bit of moisture on the grass and that, so they do try and clean themselves a little bit. She's beautiful. Taylor for Byron. Sounds like there's another lion on the vehicle. It's it's Brian's stomach this morning. I think perhaps he's a bit hungry. Let's see where this female is going. They might head back up to those clearings towards Quarantine. They did come down from there. When we first found them, they'd walked through from there. But let's see, and I think this male will possibly get up and follow this female soon. I don't think he will want to let her out of his sight too much. Let's see. He's still just watching her very intently, but I think he may get up soon. There we go, and he's up. We'll follow them a bit and see where they go. It's great. It's wonderful to find lions early in the morning like this, while they're still active, while they're moving around. We'll start. Let's follow them for a while. Isn't this great? Amazing. It's so wonderful to spend time with lions like this. And this male is in good condition. He's a beautiful male. You know, the other Birmingham male we've been seeing recently is the one that's got that very bad scar on his face. Not exactly sure how he got it. Maybe a fight with his brother, or from one of the other lionesses, maybe a claw, and caused the infection. I know you did see how badly it was infected. It looks like it's getting a bit better, and these animals have the amazing ability to heal very, very quickly. Taylor for Byron. Oh, look at this. You can actually see, if you look at his mane underneath, you can see it is a little bit wet there. And that's probably from the moisture around. Copy. Taylor, Mike has got an update for you. Just get hold of Mike around Cheetah Cutline. can see he's got a bit of a scar on his shoulder too, just over there. Can you see that? Not sure if it's a scar or if it's from a parasite. It looks like potentially a little scratch or scar. And you could see in his face too, these males, all of them, because there's constantly competition, they do fight and scratch each other quite badly. So Melinda has asked us a question: what is the life expectancy of a lion? So Melinda, with males and big males like this who are dominant in an area, they do compete a lot with other lions. So generally their life expectancy is about 10 to 12 years, depending. With these big males, in a coalition like we have with this Birmingham pride or Birmingham males, they'll probably live a little bit longer because they'll be able to be more successful. They can keep out other competition, so the chances of them fighting with other males are a lot less. But generally males 10 to 12 years, and females probably around 14 to 15 years, and those are averages. You may get them occasionally living a little bit longer, but on average 10 to 12 for males and about 14 to 15 years for females, so a bit longer. Lioness just lying under the trees there. She looks like she's crawling through a little bit. Not sure. She's probably just chewing on some grass. Lions do that occasionally. Maybe help with digestion. Speaking about the grass, I know Steph was appreciating all the green grass around at the moment. Let's see what he's up to on the bushwalk. We're still following these lions. They're moving around a bit. The lioness is actually moving around and the male is just following her. He doesn't want her to get out of his sight. Look how quickly he's moving there. Let's just see where they are going. Don't want to lose them either. It's exciting that Taylor's potentially got Tingana, that big male leopard, around. So I'm sure when she does see him, she'll let us know. I know he did have a kill just to the east of our boundary for a few days, and that's why we probably didn't see too many leopards around, because they're all feeding on something. This is interesting. These lions are walking right towards camp. Could be interesting if there's someone walking around. Christina has asked a question, and I'm just going to try to drive around here quickly to keep up with them, get onto the road. Christina has asked, do the lionesses ever follow the males like the males follow the lionesses? Not really, Christina, to be honest. Let's watch. I'm just going to try. Yeah. And they've walked right past camp. Let's just see. So Christina, no, I've never seen. Oh, hang on, they're walking right down towards our camp too, which is interesting. I've never seen lionesses follow the males like this. It's usually the males that follow the females, and mainly because the males are the ones that want to mate with the females. Let's just see. The male's probably going to cross in front of us soon. There he goes. Look at that. Look at that. Drive around here quickly. Hold on. So Christina, as I was saying, I've not seen lionesses follow males like this. Oh, look here. This is interesting. There's some waterbuck and bushbuck straight ahead. And the bushbuck just ran off. There goes the waterbuck. I'm just trying to see where they've gone. Just lost them briefly. It's very thick through here and between the two camps. going to drive down here. This is actually the access to one of the lodges to Vuyatela. Let's just see if we can work out exactly which direction they're going before we lose them, because we won't be able to follow them through here or through the camps. They obviously know this territory a lot better than we do. They know exactly where they can and cannot walk. Okay, there's the lioness. And the male is through there. I wonder where they're going to go. You know what? I think I might have an idea. While I try to stay with these lions, Taylor's got that male leopard for you. We've just found them, everyone. Just where I said there's Impala and the Nyala are. And the lioness, see the Nyala just off to my right. And the lioness is stalking. She's lying flat against the bushes, against the thicket line. And there's a Nyala walking towards them. This could get very exciting, everyone. Look how close they are. The Nyala's just over here. And they still haven't seen the lions. I've kept my distance a little bit. I don't want to disturb them. Let's see what happens. Oh, this Nyala's walking straight towards him. Wow, this is exciting, everyone. This is so exciting. But you see what the lioness is doing? She's hoping that they walk a little bit closer so she can ambush them. It's not like she's really well hidden. She may decide to burst out of there if they turn their backs or if they carry on walking away from her. Let's see what happens. I think one of the Nyalas just spotted the lioness. Let's see. I just saw her lift her head very quickly. We may get an alarm call. Let's see what happens. Also, these Nyala are just in quite a dense little area. Do you see that lioness would have to break her cover? Oh wow, look, 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 watch the lioness. There's a little baby Nyala right next to her. Watch us, watch us. Oh, it's just too slow. I don't think she actually saw that little Nyala. Wow, that was lucky. That was so lucky. See, she was focused on the adults. She didn't see that baby Nyala come out the bush right next to her, very, very close to her. It's almost like she got a bit of a fright before she actually went for it. Gee, that was close. Amazing. That was really amazing. And you see, she had to clear some branches and stumps over there. So that's why she couldn't really break into full speed. It was a bit tricky for her. But how incredibly still was she lying? I'm surprised that they didn't actually see her there. But such a pity. I mean, that little Nyala is very, very lucky. It came out, and that lioness was completely fixated on the adults and just didn't see that baby Nyala. So that was very close, but very lucky for the Nyala. Wow, that was exciting. But that little Inyala would have been a quick snack for these two lions. They probably would have finished that within 20 minutes or so. It was not a very big Inyala at all. Still a small baby. See, they're just carrying on moving through this thick bush at the moment. A lot of tree stumps and that around. We wouldn't be able to follow them through there, but the road does bend, and we may get them coming through on the other side again. It's just the whole time they're looking around if is there any potential prey that they may try and catch. But what I find so interesting is that those Inyala didn't alarm call. Excuse me, sorry. Those Inyala didn't alarm call. They literally got a fright, saw the lion come out, and they just ran. I think purely because they didn't have time to alarm call. So there was no chance of giving that bark, which the Inyala do give. It was just a, we need to get out of here, let's run. And off they went. So interesting behavior, very interesting. But that was amazing. That was very exciting. Wow. Alright, so they're moving area again. I'm going to try head around and see if we can't follow them a little bit longer. While I do, let's head back to Steph and see what he's got. So they've just gone and laid down and they're resting a little bit. It's starting to warm up, even though it's still very cloudy. The temperature has increased a bit and it is warming up nicely. I think because there's no sun, they're still out in the open, which is great. But they are resting. They've probably been moving around a lot during the evening. And so it's great to be able to sit with them. Such an exciting moment earlier with these lions, the lioness almost catching that little Inyala, that young Inyala. Very, very close. But I think it really caught her by surprise. Brian and I were actually discussing it afterwards, and I think what happened was that lioness was so focused on the adult Inyala that she didn't see the little baby Inyala come through the thicket just next to her, and that little one ran for its life and luckily made it away. Look at the large paws of that male, even just cleaning them, but they are massive. Dustin has asked a question: would the lionesses whip their tails around if they wanted to mate? So, Dustin, usually what happens is, I have seen lionesses present themselves at times to males. They'll go and rub up against the males and lie in front of them. They do move their tails slightly, but I don't think it's a signal to say, you know, let's mate. I think it's more a case of them getting up and active, and then they walk and present themselves a little bit to the male, and then the male will mate with them. But I don't think it's a sign that they actually flick their tails to instigate mating. They do move their tails around though. Usually the tails, one of the main communications that we receive from lions via their tail is when they are aggressive. The tails are flicked from side to side very, very quickly, and that shows that they are aggressive and we shouldn't approach any closer. With the mating though, I haven't seen a lioness just sit up, flick her tail around, and the male then get up and mate. But she will present herself and go and rub up against him or walk in front of him and lay down right in front of the male. And that's usually a sign that she wants to mate. So Jerry in Canada has asked us a question about the lions, and with that male getting up and following that lioness the whole time. Jerry would like to know, is it protective or possessive? So Jerry, it's a bit of both almost, because the male is protecting the female because he is interested in mating with her, but it's also possessive because he doesn't want other lions or other males coming in and trying to mate with her while he is around. So when lions are mating like this, they'll stay together. Well, I say like this, we haven't seen them mate yet, but usually when males and females are, if they're together like this, chances are they're either in the beginning stages of mating, or the male is trying to see if the female is receptive to mate with. So, Jerry, what will happen is the males will, or the male that pairs with this female will stay very close to her. He won't let her out of his sight because he doesn't want other males, even though it's his own brothers, he doesn't want them coming in and mating with her. So it's very interesting behavior, but they stay with them. And when they do start mating, they'll mate for anywhere between 3 days and about a week, 3 to 5 days usually. And in the beginning they mate very frequently, and then as the days go on, the period between each mating session becomes a lot longer, until eventually the lioness will return to the pride and the male will carry on doing his own thing, patrolling his territory, possibly meeting up with his brothers or even females from other prides. There's a woodpecker knocking in the distance. I wonder if you can hear it. It's a bearded woodpecker, and does that. That's its territorial call. Yeah, knock, 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 tuk, 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 tuk. And it does that to alert other woodpeckers, other bearded woodpeckers, that this is its territory. It's a wonderful sound. We're going to sit with these lions a little bit longer. While I do that, let's see what Steph has got in his walk. We are indeed still with the lions, and they're still sitting here very, very comfortably and resting. They haven't moved into the shade just yet, and there the male just puts his head down. They seem very happy now. I think they've moved around enough for the morning. Just looks like they've decided it's now time to rest, and we followed them for quite a way. Initially, when we found them, they'd been walking through that quarantine, the clearing, not far from camp. They walked down towards the Vuyatela waterhole, spent some time there, walked back up, walked past the camp, and we're probably about a few hundred meters away from camp now, almost a kilometer, I would say. And they've now decided to rest. So they've probably been walking around for quite a bit during the evening and early this morning, and now it's starting to warm up. The sun is slowly starting to burn off some of this cloud cover. I think I can feel the temperature increasing, and the sun's trying to peek through some of these clouds, this overcast weather. And this is usual weather for this time of year. You get this cloud cover in the morning, and then the sun comes up and starts burning it off, and it's sunny by about 10 o'clock. So I think we may probably leave these lions soon. We've had a wonderful morning with them, very exciting morning watching them trying to hunt. It was very, very close, and I think there's some other people that would like to come and see them too, so we'll allow them to come in, show them where they are, and we'll see what else we can find. Now, let me just see where this other vehicle comes. It really is great that we are able to show people the different lions around here, or different animals and sightings. We all share the sightings, which is great. Showing them to come in quickly. Oh, even those lioness's paws are massive if you look closely. I mean, they are huge. I would not like to be hit by one of those. So it's been a really great morning following these lions, and it's always wonderful to be able to spend time with them. So we've got a question from Shivam all the way from Toronto, and Shivam would like to know how long do lions actually sleep for during the day? So Shivam, it's a good question, and you can see these lions are resting now. So we need to remember that these lions, or animals generally, don't sleep like we sleep. They do rest, and even though that lioness looks like she's fast asleep, she's still completely aware and alert of what's going on around them. But they have been known to rest for up to 20 hours a day. So they can rest for long periods of time, especially in the heat of the day. They don't like walking around too much, and they are mainly active at night. But lions have been known to rest up to about 20 hours a day. But it all depends on the area that they're in. When they've eaten, are they hungry? Do they need to find food, water? So there are a lot of factors that go into it. All right, so we're probably going to leave these lions now. I know Steph has got some more little interesting critters to show you.